Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. That gets me every time. Every time that gets me. Anyways, welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman, my main man, Michael Anthony's.
That is me. I am Michael Anthony's. Oh, not much. Just enjoying the weather before it goes south. So that's good. Grateful to Almighty God that I live in an area that isn't going to have like 7 tornadoes touch down.
Yeah. What a crazy year of tornadoes it's been. I don't know if I've ever seen, because I watch this stuff. Shout out to Reed Timmer, Brandon Kopic, Vince Welty, all those guys, Corey Gherkin, Connor Croft. I want to shout out all the guys I watch. But I've never seen a year like this of tornadoes, ever.
Yeah,
they already said it's historic already. And every one it goes down to is just very violent, which is sad. There's a lot of loss and a lot of this. But I saw the Nelk Boys though did the GoFundMe thing. They already raised over $150,000 last time I saw. So for relief for victims and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, crazy year. I know you're not a fan of storms.
No, I do not like storms one bit.
You're not a fan of storms. Superstar, he says hi.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you. That's our
welcome
Twitch. In. Anyways, yeah, welcome on in. Finally, our reaction. Wait a minute, they just put the. Okay. I don't know what they're referring to, but anyway.
Indeed.
Thanks for tuning in. But anyways, finally, our reaction to the Browns 2024 draft picks. Mike, I know it's been much anticipated. When people ask, what's your guys' thoughts on the picks? Well, we've been kind of busy. I've had life, and we all kind of want to give time to marinate too. Really, we wanted to watch a lot of these guys before we really gave our analysis on what we thought about it. So, But Mike, before we get to that, we haven't heard your take though from the viral video. Almost actually 111,000 views on TikTok, 12,000 here on YouTube. Of our boy Corey on draft night with the Michael Penix Jr. pick, featuring Mike in the background.
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, I don't like the look on his face. He's like, I can't believe they took JJ McCarthy after you spent all this.
It might be worse. If it's Penix, I'll laugh. Is that Jim Harbaugh?
That dude did look like Jim Harbaugh, though. Dude in the crowd.
Oh my God! What are you fucking serious?
Oh, I still love it. Falcons fans. Poor Falcons fans.
You spent $100 million on fucking Kirk Cousins, and you got this guy? Oh my God! Oh my God!
Michael Penix.
My phone's sitting there. My fucking phone's blowing up.
Is he scared or something? Oh, someone just texted and laughing us. That's the dumbest shit.
It is the dumbest shit.
What a great way to end it. That's the dumbest. But Mike, your reaction to the video and then also that draft pick, just that.
I mean, that reaction to the video and the reaction to the Falcons' entire draft, as a non-Falcons fan, I thought their draft was stupid. I thought it was really dumb. I didn't like their draft at all, honestly. You pick Michael Penix Jr. at 8, which was not smart, and they said that, well, we don't want to skip out on a guy because we don't expect to pick that high anymore. And it's like, okay, that makes sense, except Michael Penix Jr. was like a second round graded quarterback. And on top of that, you know, in the second round, they pick Ruka Rororo, who I like, but like he's a run stopper. You pick a nose tackle with your first pick in the second round and move up to go get him.
When McKinstry there.
Yeah, and Kool-Aid McKinstry, you obviously still need a corner. Like, I don't know. I think that GM's stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
Or their scouting department's bad. I don't know.
I mean, I like Michael Penix Jr., but
I don't like him that much.
I was shocked. I mean, we were all shocked. You heard your reaction there. All of us. We were just kind of speechless. And I think Corey was obviously the most emotional. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a fun night, though. That was a really fun. I can't believe it was what 2 weeks ago tomorrow already.
Damn. Yeah, it's flying. Months flying by. Be football season before we know it.
You think of the video. I mean, it's funny when we posted it that night. We were like, I'm curious if people's reaction would be to this. We knew our people we know would be laughing at Corey. I don't think we expected to go 111,000 views, but
people love to see suffering, especially when it's sports. And I love watching Falcons fans suffer. It's funny.
Somebody put in the comment, and I replied to him because I didn't read all the comments because there's too many, but some of them I did see. One of them was if 28-3 was a draft pick.
That's good. I like that.
So that's cool. But yeah, that was a fun night, and our boy Corey was number 2 and trending that next day for Falcons fandom. So shout out to Corey. But anyways, to our Cleveland Browns. The Browns, Mike.
Cleveland Browns.
They had 6 draft selections, Mike, and did not make a draft selection that night. But the next night, though, they made 2 draft selections, starting off with defensive tackle Michael Hall out of Ohio State and guard Zach Zinner out of Michigan. I guess I'll go first. I've said on this show I've liked Michael Hall for a while. I think he's a great 3-tech. I think he's got a great first step. He's got all the moves. He's very fast, very athletic, very I think he'd be really good. He could be really good in the scheme with Jim Schwartz. Now he's got Myles Garrett next to him. Really good in the run, really good in the pass rush, really good pursuit of the ball. Very strong as well. He's just an overall, I think, a great 3-tech. I don't think he's really reached his potential yet, to be honest with you. I don't think he's really tapped into his full potential yet, which is why people are really high on him. But had some monster games at Ohio State. Zach Zinner could have easily been a late first, early second round draft pick, in my opinion, if he didn't get this season-ending injury. I think he could be the best pick out of all these guys in terms of like who can get to the, I don't want to say Hall of Fame, but who can get to be an all-pro guy, you know, perennial Pro Bowler. I think Zach Zinner can be that guy. He's that good. I know our buddy Chris would agree, fellow Michigan, or our Michigan friend, Michigan fan friend. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean. But anyways, but I like Zach Zinner a lot. I think he's great. I think he's an all-around great guard, great leader, great guy. And anybody for that Michigan O-line, that was really their catalyst last year. That was what drove that team to the national championship was their O-line, I thought. Started up front. He was their best one, him and Drake Nugent. So, yeah, I'll take Zach Zinner any day of the week.
Yeah. My initial reaction to the first 2 picks was relatively positive. There were a couple guys that I wish they would have been a little bit more aggressive on. With Adonai Mitchell dropping, I really liked him coming out of Texas. And I think the Colts picked him the pick before we picked.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to either go wide receiver or defensive tackle with their first pick. And, you know, the Browns stated pat at all their picks. They didn't trade anything. And, I like Michael Hall a lot. Hopefully, you know, defensive tackle is one of those position groups that the Browns haven't had the best luck drafting in the past. You know, our best defensive tackles that we've had, Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, Maurice Hurst, have all been free agency acquisitions, and they really want to kind of get somebody that in-house that they can get to a second contract. And hopefully Michael Hall is that. You know, and he's got, you know, two great vets in Dalvin and Shelby to help him keeps ropes, all that good stuff, and then he's in a great scheme as well. So I expect him to hit the ground running and be a key rotational player.
And he's a local kid who played at Streetsboro High School, who I watched in high school, was a monster. I actually went back and rewatched his high school highlights. The dude was he was the guy in the goal line in high school that gave him the ball, and you just plowed it in.
Yeah,
Fullback just plowed it in. But go ahead.
And then with Zach, I people are like, we love the pick, but he's not gonna, other outside voices were saying, he can't start year one, and it's like, well, we don't need him to,
Yeah.
So this
He's
is
coming off an
really
injury too.
right. This is future plans, shoring up the line. Whether we move off, whether Joel retires or we decide to move off Wyatt, either or. I think he can plug into that left or right guard spot. I think it's a great pick. I wanted them to pick a guard at some point in this draft. Didn't think Zinter would still be there at 85, so that was great to see. There were a lot of guards that I liked, and he was one of the ones I really, really liked. So
yeah, I know you and I both. I liked him a lot because I just like the whole line. I think, like you said too, even if Joel Petonio, how many years he has left now. I mean, this is the perfect setup though. You got this guy, he could just slide right in whoever leaves.
Yeah,
and I think you'll be just fine.
Exactly. Yeah, and with he's going to be starting next to people that, whether it's Joel's last year or Wyatt's last year, either or, we're going to be keeping one of them after this year, more than likely. And then you still have Ethan Posich in the center position for now. And, you still have DeJuan Jones and Jack Conklin for now, with Jack, not DeJuan. DeJuan's for the foreseeable future. But, Brown's usually really good with the O-line, so I really like that pick. And now for my favorite pick, though.
I'll announce the next two. I'll slide it back to you.
All right.
I'll hand the ball back to you. I mean,
you'll hand the ball back real quick. You'll give me a JJ McCarthy, the best play JJ McCarthy does. You'll hand the ball off.
I guess. I don't. I like JJ. I mean, I think JJ would be better than people think. I don't know if he'll be an all-world guy, but I think he'll be.
I'm a certified JJ McCarthy hater.
Yeah, you got him and Trevor Lawrence are just not on your list. Like
certified Trevor Lawrence hater too.
Yeah, that's just not your favorite quarterbacks. But
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's been proving me right the past couple of years.
He didn't have a good year last year. I'll give you that. But the next picks the Browns made on day 3. This was round 4, I believe. Yeah. Jamari Thrash.
We didn't have any in 4. He was the 5th round pick.
The 5th round, excuse me. Jamari Thrash, wide receiver out of Louisville, Mike. Your thoughts on Jamari Thrash?
I love this kid. He was one of my 3 sleeper receivers. It was him. I believe the other kid's name is Javon Baker out of UCF, and then Malik Washington out of Virginia. Those were my 3 sleeper wide receivers. And if the Browns didn't pick one early, out of those 3 receivers, I hope the Browns would pick later. Jamari Thrash is excellent, really good at yak. He plays big, even though he isn't really strong hands. Super, super smart route runner. He can run the whole route tree. I think he could be a contributor, not this season, but probably as early as next. I really like the pick. He initially was at Georgia State and transferred to Louisville, where he did really, really well. The Browns typically love to pick people that like blow up at the Senior Bowl. Like the Browns watch the Senior Bowl really, really closely, and Jamari Thrash cleaned up at the Senior Bowl. He was
frying dudes at the Senior Bowl.
frying dudes on one-on-ones, and when they actually went to the game portion
in the red zone too. He was really frying dudes.
Yeah, so I think he could be great as if he's the long-term replacement for Elijah Moore. Because he does a lot of similar things to what Elijah does, except I would even argue Jamari might be a little bit better on the outside. And I like that we're shelling that out. Kind of sad for David Bell, because now it does seem like David Bell is going to be the odd one out, and hopefully he can find a home on the practice squad. But I love the Jamari Thrash pick. What do you think?
I like Jamari too. I didn't really watch a whole lot on him. Like when we drafted him that day, I remember you called me and I was like, I don't really know much about this kid. And they were on the TV. They said they were talking about drops maybe in college. And so I went and watched the tape. listened to some good analysis on him, and after watching him and stuff, I think he could be a really good player. I like his versatility. You can put him inside or outside. You can put him at the X or the Z. But yeah, he's a very smart. That really stood out to me on the screen. A really smart route runner in terms of just running around the linebackers when he's going across the middle, finding the sweet spots in the field. His yards after the catch are really good. When he gets the ball in space, he's dangerous. I think he can be a Tank Dell kind of player.
Yeah.
He has that potential. He can do all the same things Tank Dell does. I mean, I watched Tank Dell last year. I was high on. We talked about in that draft last year about a prospect with the Browns with Tank Dell. I see a lot of similarities in a way. I think he's a Tank does some things differently, but I think Thrash does some things differently as well in terms of like the route running, in terms of just there's a lot of similarities, I think.
Yeah, the one thing I like more about Jamar too is he's very quarterback friendly in that he has the nose for it's something that's really hard to teach. He has the nose to help his quarterback when his quarterback is struggling. Like many times you'd notice Louisville's quarterback would be about to be sacked, starts to scramble. Jamari's really good at recognizing that, finding a spot to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands into his. He's really good off the cuff, out of structure. I think he could be like a future safety net for Deshaun here, especially as he continues to evolve in the offense. But I loved this pick. I thought, as far as need after the Jerry Jeudy trade, at least for this year, wide receiver wasn't like a huge pressing need. Because with Jerry Jeudy, you have Amari, you have Elijah and David Njoku as your main pass catchers, and then whichever running backs out there. You can always send him wide, what have you, but I love this pick for the future.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like what you said there about his awareness. That really stood out to me when I started watching him. It's just his awareness, his IQ. And I like about him too, which is hard to find in some receivers. I like guys that like the block and be all around receivers, and he showed a lot of blocking too on his tape. Yeah. I liked. He's not afraid to throw his body around, so I like that as well, especially when you're in the AFC North. But the next pick, though, who I think might be their biggest, if you want to talk about best value pick, I think this guy was it. Because I'm actually surprised we got him in this round, is Nathaniel Watson, linebacker out of, just slipped my mind. Out of
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. I was thinking of A&M for a second. Mississippi State. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year this year as well, which is very impressive. Last year, 2023.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's 24, dude. I keep putting in the date at
he was weird. Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC, which is that's a big deal to me. And when you watch his tape, I watched his tape over the weekend. I like this kid a lot. He's physical. He had a ton of tackles. You could see why. His pursuit to the ball is excellent. The way he squares up on guys, sideline to sideline, he can run. I mean, you got that many tackles, you can cover the field pretty well. I just think he's an all-around really good linebacker. I really like this kid. I think he'll fit the scheme really well. He's physical, but he's just got a nose for the ball, and it shows. And he also had 10-plus sacks in college as a linebacker, which is very impressive for a linebacker. That's hard to find. How this kid lasted this far, I have no idea or why, but in terms of value and where they got him and the need they have for a good linebacker, I think they got one here. I really like this pick a lot.
I agree. I really do like the pick. I watched a lot more tape on him just because I wasn't really high on a lot of linebackers this year, except Edgar and Cooper, who I think went to the Packers.
Yeah.
But outside of him, I really didn't dial in on linebacker, even though I really think that was, if you wanted to talk about what do the Browns need? What do they need? I think linebacker would have been one of their biggest needs, but I was also on quoted as to saying, if they draft a linebacker first, I'll riot, which is true. But watching Nathaniel Watson tape, he's an excellent first and second down linebacker. He's really good at blitzing. He's really good in the run. I think he really struggles in coverage. And if you wanted to, you pose the question, why did he last this long? I think with, the modern day linebacker almost has to also be able to play the nickel. And he most certainly can't do that.
No, but I don't think he's not going to be required to do that.
No. He's going to be the top
you have
replacement.
JOK.
Yeah.
you look at Schwartz's scheme, he fits perfectly, and I think
Oh,
he can
I
play
agree.
it. And I think third down is when you actually use, because if you had 10 plus sacks in college for a year, you know what Schwartz likes to do on third down.
Oh yeah,
That's
if
a
you're
perfect
sending
fit.
pressure, I think the kid's going to be great.
No,
I think he's
it's a perfect fit for this scheme.
Yeah.
And that's really, I like the pick because I think now you're starting to see. We'll get to the last pick, who I really like too. Who I got some insight on, but I really like how they're drafting. You can tell it's with Michael Hall and with Watson. They're drafting guys that fit the scheme. You can tell this is Jim Schwartz's draft now. Not this, not that we're still used to the drafts of, with our old coordinator. So I can't think of his name. Remember his
he's
name?
a war criminal.
Yeah, we used to draft his kind of players. We're not drafting those guys anymore. I think,
Granted, his kind of players, I mean, most have worked out so
well,
far.
Grant and JOK have been good, but in terms of defensive linemen,
Martin Emerson,
but
Greg Newsom.
in terms of linebacker and defensive lineman, it's been kind of hit and miss.
Oh
outside
yeah,
of
no,
JOK.
we couldn't. I mean, Alex Wright has turned into a pretty solid rotational player.
Well, that was last year. That was Schwartz.
No, Alex Wright's going into his third year.
Is he? Oh yeah, you're right.
He was in the same draft as Martin and David Bell. That was when we had 3 third-round picks.
But I like the kind of guys they're drafting for this scheme. I like this scheme a lot better, and I like it's different kind of players than we used to draft. So I'm a lot higher on these guys.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're actually we're really trying to kind of shore up those trenches and get some guys in here that are long term. Because I love Maurice Hurst, and if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to again be a really good rotational player with Michael Hall. I think it's going to be a great dude to learn from because they are pretty similar in what they do at the 3-tech position. With Nathaniel Watson, if we're going to put him at that kind of Sam Mike hybrid that Taki played for us, which I suspect them to do.
He's the replacement.
He's learning from one of the smartest linebackers in the league in Jordan Hicks. He's just awesome veteran, 100+ tackles a year. Dude's just a workhorse. I love Jordan Hicks. I still think he's one of the most underrated signings. But gets to learn from that. He's going to contribute a lot in special teams, kind of do what Matthew Adams did for us last year in year 1. I think that's where we're going to see most of his playing time. Mm-hmm. But in the future, I wouldn't be surprised seeing Nathaniel Watson wear the green dot.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that either. The next selection, I'll let you take this one, Mike, because you watch this kid more than me. I don't really know much about him, but Miles Harden, I believe out of South Dakota State, if I'm not right.
Yep, South Dakota State.
Quarterback, Miles Harden. What's your analysis on Miles? I'll just say this for my analysis real quick, because you know more about him than me. Andrew Berry's good at drafting corners, so I'm assuming this kid's going to be pretty good rotational piece. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I really like Miles Harden. He's a really physical corner, really fast, speedy. He can play in the slot. He played outside. He would guard the best receiver in his conference. The dude is, he's going to definitely be a special teams kind of ace starting out, but he could be that AJ Green. I can't remember his first name, but he was at UDFA last year. Khaleesi, who
Mike Ford.
Yeah, Mike Ford kind of guy who might see some playing time in the rotation, but just really, really just hard-nosed player. He's a really good tackler for his size as well. I thought it was a good value. And with the 7th and 6th round, you're trying to kind of, piece apart your roster to get good depth pieces, good special teamers. And with, us having to sign kind of your special teams ace, the past couple of years, even this past free agency, we signed Tony Brown to be that again since Mike Ford left. So I could see, as long as he works out, Miles Harden being that, because he's very similar to those kind of DBs that are just fast, like to tackle, but just not incredibly athletic when it comes to guarding the NFL receivers. But in special teams, great piece to have. So I think it was a great piece, and I'm sure we'll see him a lot on kickoffs.
Now the last selection, who I'm really high on this kid.
I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, I'll take this because I got some insight of this. from the University of Cincinnati, Jawan Briggs, defensive tackle. I watched Jawan Briggs in college when he first started off. I kept an eye on him. He was one of the bigger players down there in Cincinnati. I mean, knows me, knows some of my associates or friends, rather, one of my best friends. Played and coached Jawan in college, and I hit him up as soon as he made the pick and asked him about him, and this is what he said: strong, big mother effer, hard worker with a chip on his shoulder, has shown that he can be a little versatile, playing nose and end for us. Much better on the inside where he can just blow shit up. Has a family to do it for, so he's going to work his ass off. And that's from a coach who coached him in college, so and knows him pretty well. And I thought it was really cool. The reason why this kid really stood out to Andrew Berry, if anyone doesn't know the story, after he went and interviewed with him, I believe Andrew Berry said he's never had a kid write him a nice
Thank you for the opportunity.
like a thank you note for the opportunity for the interview. And that really stood out to Andrew Berry. He's never had that happen. And if you listen to Jawan Briggs talk, you go look at his social media. He's a family man, has a wife and kids, and he speaks very well. He's very, very mature and very everything that Tech said there. What my person told me, I totally agree with. So I like this pick a lot. When you watch his tape too, he is very versatile. He can play end, he can play nose. He's very physical. He's strong. He's a dog. He's very competitive. He got in the backfield a lot at Cincinnati when you watch their tape. And they played against some good teams over the years. And he dominated, and he was very consistent. I think he's going to make the roster. I think he'll be a good rotational piece. He fits this scheme well again. And he's a guy, why? Because if you watch last year, there were times that they're moving Myles Garrett right over the center and, doing stuff like that. Jawan Briggs is that kind of guy. He's kind of like he fits the Alex Wright, the Myles Garrett's, the versatility in terms of that. Mm-hmm. Even Michael Hall now, he's versatile as well. He could shift them around out there. He can come in different packages. He'll be on special teams as well. I think Jawan Briggs will not only make the team, I think he'll be a good rotational piece down the road. I like this kid a lot, and I think he was really well coached in college. He's a smart kid, and he's going to be a really good he's a culture piece is what I think. So like just those guys. Sometimes people think the culture piece are just your star players, but it's good to have guys that, like Andrew Berry said, are not only thankful for the opportunity, but they're going to really honor wearing that helmet. It's an honor to wear that helmet. And you want guys like that in your locker room. That's very important. I don't think people really understand it. If you don't never played any team sports to really understand it. You have to have these kind of guys. Not saying he'll be this great player or this and that, but I think from what I've heard about this kid and what I see and what they saw as well, I think he could be that kind of guy where he's always in the rotation. Maybe he starts a couple games. If some guy gets hurt, he's just a guy that's good to have in the locker room and knows his job and has some versatility as well. So that's my take on Jawan.
That's an excellent take. And I'll add a little bit to that. I think, they didn't get really what they wanted out of Siaki last year as kind of the run-stopping nose tackle. So if Jawan would take playing time away from him, I think that's really what they're looking for because they have their 3 tech, they think, in Michael Hall and Dalvin, who can do both. So they want a more, first and second down kind of nose tackle for the future. So if Jawan has a chance there, that's it. And I wish him the best of luck.
You look at the physical tools and you look at the tape, the kid's got it, everything you need. Matt McChesney, who was former pro, is on JB's show. We showed him on the show. He made a really good point for the draft that I believe in, that it really, a lot of times when we look at the draft, a lot of people, these experts on TV that we always like we were
hyper.
like we were like talking shit about 2 weeks ago, because a lot of times they're way off. A lot of these guys, they only study the first like 1 or 2 rounds. A lot of people, they don't know the guys from 3 to 7, but a lot of times those guys from 3 to 7 rounds can be just as good as the guys in the first round, or can be, big pieces down the road, could help you win a championship. I mean, we watched the kid from last year when the Chiefs beat the Eagles. Who was the running back? It was a 7th round pick.
Isaiah Pacheco.
A 7th round pick out of Rutgers, who helped them win a Super Bowl that night.
Or even, classic. I mean, Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy,
last pick in the draft, quarterback out of was it Stanford? He was an Ivy League quarterback, right?
No, he was from Brock Purdy was from Iowa State.
Iowa State. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't. That's how much we don't know.
My first seen him at Iowa, because I watch college. You don't watch college as much as I do, but
no, but like last pick of the draft, you know, like you
Right.
never know with these kids.
you never
like,
know. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, it all comes down to the type of player you're getting in terms of not just on the field, but off the field, but also the fit. Is it you know what I mean? And I think a lot of these picks, like Jawan in particular, Nathaniel Watson, Zach Zinner, it's good fits, and I think they're good guys too. It seems like as well. You listen, especially Zach Zinner. I like him a lot. He just seems like a typical badass lineman. He's just a great guy, and just
right. And he gets the plus of not having to start right away, and because I mean we have so many dudes, you know, like Michael Dunn's still here. He's going to be your backup, guard wherever. We signed another center, and then you still have Luke Whippler. I mean, you have all these dudes. And then
it's good they have depth up front, and they got it.
Yeah, and also the UDFA, my favorite UDFA, Javion Cohen, who I actually mocked to the Browns as a guard in an actual draft pick. We signed him in undrafted free agency, who I really think could be a starter. Kid out of Miami, super, super athletic guard. I think he could be here long term as well. So that was great to see.
Yeah. Well, Mike, what's your you got an overall draft grade for the Browns?
I think it's a solid, like B plus. Like I feel B.
I got a B plus too.
Yeah, B plus. Just it would be an A if it was like, I guess, more exciting. But like, they stayed pat. They didn't. They weren't super aggressive. They just followed their board, picked best player available and what they think would suit their needs. And I don't blame them for doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say B plus. But I think out of all the Andrew Berry drafts, I think this could be the most quality draft. In terms of top to bottom. I really believe that. I think could be the most quality draft in terms of each player, the potential. You have the coaching in line now with Shorts and defense. You got new offense coming in. So I really like the value and the quality of what they got out of this draft. I think this is gonna be the most quality draft so far that they've had from top to bottom, most complete. So that's my opinion. But when we come back, we're gonna take a quick break. We're going to talk some Cavs, go into some more somber news. The Cavs and the Timberwolves. We want to hit on the Timberwolves. Ant-Man, who's just lighting up the league right now. Is he the next Michael Jordan? That's the question everybody's floating around. But we'll get into it. We come back in uno momento.
It's interesting to me. God really did have that plan for me throughout this entire time. Mm-hmm. It was simply just up to me when I was able to stop playing God. I thought I was the one making things happen. No, God is in control. A saying my dad used to always say was, man plans while God laughs. I had a plan for my life. Like, I was going to be, I'm talking about from as soon as I can remember my first thought, I'm going to be in the NFL. I'm going to be, a quarterback. Right. I'm gonna, my life was made.
I'm gonna have all this money. I'm gonna get any girl I want. I'm gonna have all these cars. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm talking Beyonce is gonna be like, "Hey, what are you doing today?"
What's up?
Then Rihanna tomorrow. Like it was this plan I had for my life, and as I got older, obviously the plans got smaller, but I still continue to plan. Something that I do now, and I would recommend everybody doing. Every single night when I pray, what I used to do was say, God, allow me to pass this test. God, allow me to, meet this girl. God, allow, this date to go well, this day to go well. When I go to sleep every single night, what I pray for is for God's will to be done. Because he obviously knows what he's doing. I don't. Because if I knew what I was doing, I would be, I wouldn't be talking about Baker on the Browns. I'd be on the Browns right now. If I knew if I followed my plan, Beyonce would be hitting me up. She hasn't hit me up. I must have missed that call or something.
She don't want some bake.
Right. She doesn't want the AMP producer. She has a billionaire husband or something. It's interesting to me. God really did have that plan for me throughout this entire time. It was simply just up to me when I was able to stop playing God. I thought I was the one making things happen. No, God is in control. From the moment I wake up, God is in control. So
All right, welcome back. Time to move on to NBA basketball, to the Cavs. The Cavs last night, Mike, in game 1 in Boston, lost 120-95.
Yeah, we did.
You know, they shot 11 of 42 from 3 for 26%. You know, just keep shooting the ball from 3. Why not? Fuck it. You're at 26%. Just keep shooting it. 55 rebounds for Boston, only 38 for the Cavs, so they got annihilated on the boards as well.
Missing Jared Allen. Missing Jared Allen right now.
Yeah, missing Mr. Jared Allen. And then you go to the box score and you look at Donovan Mitchell. 25 shots. The second guy in line with him was 15 shots, which was Darius Garland. But Donovan shot 4 of 11 from 3. So he shot 11 3-pointers last night out of 25 shots. That's not very efficient to me. Not very smart when you watch it on tape as well. Look, man, I mean, Donovan's a great player. Don't get me wrong, great player. I thought Sunday they were able to will together like a team and pull that game off. I was excited. It was a great game to beat Game 7 to beat Orlando. But now you're facing the elite teams of the NBA, like Boston, and this is where you find out how good you really are in these semifinals. And they just don't. I look at Donovan Mitchell, number one. And I'll just go from here. I'm gonna go on a rant. I'm looking at Donovan Mitchell right now, Mike, and he just can't be your best player on a championship team. Or he could be your best scorer. He can't be your alpha, your leader. He's just not that guy. He doesn't know how to get people involved. You look at his assists last night, only 5 assists, and he's just not a very. Everybody wants to kill Garland, like in our local media. They always want to Garland and Mobley. That's all we hear all the time. Garland and Mobley need to play better. Yes, but I don't. People really miss you don't think throwing Darius Garland in the mix 2 years ago really hindered their development? Because I think we've seen that. We've seen Evan. Look how we talked about Evan Mobley and Darius Garland before Donovan got here to now. It's way different. And I think that's a problem. You watch his style of play, he's not like LeBron getting everybody involved. He's not like you watch Jordan in his prime when he was getting everybody involved. Now, I'm not saying he's never been that caliber player, but again, if he's supposed to be your superstar kind of player, you watch Anthony Edwards for the Timberwolves right now, who's 6'5", also 6'6", and is unbelievable, probably the best player in the world right now. But he gets guys involved. He plays winning basketball. He's very smart. He takes good shots. He's not out there trying to do too much. And the team feeds off of his mentality and his energy. Donovan doesn't do that to me. I haven't seen that in 2 years. Again, great player, not knocking him, but he's just not it's the same shit he did in Utah. It's the same shit. He's just a little older now. He's a little more refined. He's a little more, he's in his prime. He's scoring the ball more, but he's not good at getting guys involved. He's not good at. I don't see him getting the team up. I don't see him in the game when you need him most. I just don't. The team just seems to be kind of very off. Either they're hitting their threes and Donovan's playing hero ball and they win, or they're screwed. There's no real identity. I don't see consistently on a night-to-night basis. I get now Jared Allen being out really hurts.
Yeah.
But
especially the boards.
Yeah, especially on the boards. But it's like somebody told me today, and I didn't even ask him about it. They just brought it up about the game. And this gentleman's a little older, and he's seen a lot of basketball, and he goes, man, when I watched him, he goes, it just looks like Donovan's just trying to do too much. He's just doing way too much, and everybody's just standing there, waiting for the ball. Like everybody's criticizing Evan Mobley. When does Evan Mobley ever get a lot of features for him in the offense? When does he get the ball in the right spot? It doesn't happen consistently.
And I think that comes down to coaching too. Yeah,
it comes down to coaching. It comes down to Donovan as well. He takes accountability for it. And that's my knock on Donovan. Hey, dude, if you really want to elevate and take the next step in the playoffs and be a real superstar and put your name in the hat of these all-time guys, you want to like D Wade's and guys like that who other two guards even, or just guys in the league right now who are like top, the cream of the crop. You got to really elevate your game to get your teammates involved. You can't just be out there one-man pony show. And I mean, 4 of 11 from 3. You shot 11 threes out of 25 shots. That's bad. You know, that's not good at all. And you look at it, he had 3 turnovers as well. Led the team in turnovers. Evan had 1, Strus had 1. And so I just don't know. My whole point about Donovan is this. I don't like the way people are talking about this team locally. I think it's being kind of portrayed unfairly, to be honest with you. I think, look, man, you got a 6'1" Darius Garland, a 6'1", 6'2" at best, Donovan Mitchell. Those are 2 small guards. We have a 6'5" Max Strus as our small forward this year who, like Max Strus, really good role piece. He's not a small forward, number one. He got killed last night by Jason Tatum because he's not as big. He's not as good as a defender. You know what I mean? He doesn't really he can rebound when you need him to. I like Max. He's a really good team player. I like him a lot. But he's not your starting small forward. I'm sorry. When you have when you have 2 bigs up front and then you have 2 small guys in the back, we're very unbalanced as a team.
Yeah.
You know, again, after this season, we don't expect them to beat Boston. Maybe they get a game. Kobe Albany needs to be really evaluated. Dude, you built your team like a college team. And I like Kobe Altman. A lot of people hated on Kobe Altman when LeBron left, said that he's not going to get it done. He's an idiot because he traded Kyrie for Colin Sexton. You know, but I think Kobe Altman did a hell of a job getting this team back to be competitive and a playoff team. Perennial team. But at some point, it's like, dude, you're trying to build a playoff contender now. We're not trying to get to the playoff anymore. We want to be a contender now in the playoff. And this team's just built like a college team. You know, you have 2 a lot of classic college teams. What do they always have? 2 big 7-footers up front and a lot of 6'5", 6, or less guards that can dribble around and shoot and create the shot because you run a motion offense and stuff like that. You're going against the zone in college. You're in the NBA. You need guys that are 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", just like the Timberwolves. And that they don't have to be great. You know, the Timberwolves, they got a lot of those guys because they just drafted them, developed well, and signed well, and traded well. Not a lot of them are superstars, but, man, they really do their role well. And having that length and size out there really helps your star players. It helps your team grow. And guess what else they have, too? They got 2 7-footers up front. You know, they got Mike Conley, a really good point guard. I think Darius is actually a really good point guard. I just don't think Darius is in a position where he can be that guy night to night because he's got to share the rock with somebody that needs the ball to be good. If Donovan doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's not effective. So I don't know. I don't really know where they go with this team, to be honest with you. I mean, I get why you want to sign Donovan. You want to have superstars. I'm not saying he's the problem either, but if they're going to keep Donovan, they better identify a 3, like a playmaking 3, which I get it's fine. But if that's what you're going to choose to do, this ain't going to work what they're doing.
Right.
Sorry for the long rant, but go ahead.
No, I mean, I agree with everything you said. I don't even have a lot to
I got more to rant on too.
Yeah, I don't even have a lot to add on that.
Why the hell did Marcus Morris only play 9 minutes last night? He's 6'8", 6'9", with playoff experience. He's a small forward, by the way. Why did he only play 9 minutes? But Sam Merrill played 17 minutes and shot 0 of 4.
Because JB Bickerstaffisms.
I don't get it. This is the same shit we saw last year against the Knicks. Shitty rotations. You're just like, why?
Yeah, I mean, here. When's the next game? Tomorrow?
Who the fuck knows? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, I don't even. Yeah, when is the next game? Yeah, tomorrow, 7:00. Yeah, Boston's a 13.5-point favorite. By the way, go ahead.
No, of course.
Porzingis isn't even playing, and they got 55 rebounds, dog.
Yeah, I know. We need Jared Allen back bad. Hopefully he's healthy.
Al Horford's out there getting boards over us. He's like 30. He's like 40 years old.
Yeah, I don't even have a lot to add. I think you covered it pretty well. I'm just disappointed. But
I just
the team needs to take a log look at itself.
Do you think JB and Kobe Altman are here after this year, or one of them gone?
I think one of them.
Which one?
I think JB. I think Kobe has at least earned like the.
Yeah, I'm not saying fire Kobe, but I think. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I mean, cut you. I'm
No,
very,
you're fine. I was just
I'm into
saying.
this today. I'm very pissed about that.
Yeah, I think Kobe just has earned his spot, like more or less, at least with talent, drafting talent. Like we
Trades.
outside of Donovan Mitchell and Max Strus. I mean,
Well,
for the most part,
Jared Allen trade was a great trade.
yeah, Jared Allen
Old
trade.
Jared Allen.
But most of our players have been more or less homegrown. So, I think he has earned the trust of ownership and whatnot. I do think JB has you've seen his ceiling, like he can get you to be a good to great, even regular season team. You might win a playoff series. You might, be competitive in the second round, but I don't think he is the guy to get you over the hump or like get you very far. And he's never been that guy.
I like JB a lot.
No, I love JB, and I think he's grown. He's grown a lot as a coach with us, and sometimes you gotta, go to other places to kind of, figure it out. Like JB was still a relatively new coach when he came to the Cavs, and he's grown as well as the team, and it is what it is. I mean, maybe if Kobe gets like a Paul George to come here or some crazy stuff like that.
That would be ideal, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy. Paul George, Donovan Mitchell.
I said that last night to Schnooks. I was like, man, if we just had Paul George at the 3, we'd be all right.
That'd be crazy.
I'm going to be honest. There's one guy out there who never gets mentioned for people probably know what reasons. But if they can add this guy who can coach a guard system, because if we're going to keep Donovan, I don't know if Donovan's really going to leave because I don't know where else he can go, to be honest with you. Who's going to pay him that kind of money? Because it sounds like KD's going to Miami. And so
KD's already out of Arizona.
Yeah. Sounds like Miami's going to be the team, so that eliminates them. He's not going to the Knicks. They're not signing him because they got Brunson and they like Hart and DiVincenzo, so they're not going to ruin that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna pay Hart so much money.
Yeah, they're not going to break Donovan in because that would just screw the whole thing up. So you're probably going to have to keep Donovan, but how can you make this work? And I think there's 2 ways. I think number one, like I said, you got to get an actual small forward, a guy who can be a little bit of a playmaker too, can handle the ball, 6'7", 6'8" you can find one. I mean, I get it's hard to find. Maybe LeBron leaves LA and he comes back. That would be ideal. I get he's 40 years old, but man, you put LeBron at the 3, now it really equalizes a lot of things because he's arguably one of the greatest point guards of all time, if we're really being honest. And you can put those 2 off the ball and let LeBron operate and play with the 2 bigs. That you need more balance is what I'm saying. You need that piece in the middle that can balance this out. But I think there's a coach out there who can get them all, who knows guards better than anybody. It's Mark Jackson. I think Mark Jackson, as the head coach of this team, what he did with Golden State, building that culture, still a great defensive team when he was there. But look what he did with Stephen Clay, 2 guards, and he also had Monte Ellis at one point too. So I think Mark Jackson will be an excellent coach for here. Why the Lakers aren't targeting him right now, but JJ Redick instead, it's beyond me. They can have JJ Redick, have fun with that disaster. Give me Mark Jackson as the head coach if JB's fired. I think Mark Jackson would really do really well with this group.
I agree with that. I like Mark Jackson a lot.
Mama, there goes that man. But anyways,
you want to talk about the Timberwolves and how they're going to win their first NBA championship this year and how I was right?
Well, we both took them. We both had the Timberwolves and the Celtics. That was the first day I had Timberwolves Celtics, and I said Denver, but I did say Timberwolves first. I'm going to go with my first choice.
yeah. I forget what Pasby said.
Right. I flip-flop, but I'll go back to my original point. But anyways, I said that first, so it counts. I'll just say the next day. I just forgot. But anyways, no, I'm just kidding. But I have been high on Anthony Edwards, though, and I do think he's the best player in the world right now by far.
I've never seen a former championship team that just won the championship last year get bitch slapped. There's no better word. They got bitch slapped at home.
Our buddy, or not our buddy, but our guy I watch, Matt McChesney from Denver.
Yeah.
At the game the other night and said on JB's show today, it's the worst sporting event he's ever seen in his life. It was that bad. I mean, you got Jamal Murray throwing heat pack on the court.
Oh, he got fined $100,000.
Why? How Mike Malone didn't get a tech or thrown out of the game when he got in the guy's face? The ref's
face. I saw that, and like Anthony Edwards like standing next to him, like, what's going on?
Yeah, right. If he did that, he would have got thrown out of the game. But the Timberwolves are going to win the championship, Mike. I don't know how anybody beats this team right now. I mean, I get OKC is really good. I think Dallas will make that a series. I think Boston's great, and Boston's probably still the favorite. But man,
this team, if that Minnesota team shows,
they're such a well-balanced team. They got Mike Conley at the point who can reels them all in when they get a little wild. You got the best player in the world in Ant-Man, who's unguardable. No, there ain't nobody out there. Jaylen Brown don't want to. I like Jaylen Brown, but Ant-Man's gonna get his against whoever he's going against. He's just that kind of dude.
And Gobert's out right now. Gobert was out, and they're still doing that.
Because his child was. So he'll be back because it was for his child was born.
Yeah.
So you got the 2-7. You got defensive player of the year up front. You got Anthony Towns at the 4. So you got all that.
Who had a great game that game?
Who had a great game. But then you look too. Even their backup center, Naz Reid, really good player. So they go 3 deep in the big man, which is what you want.
He can shoot. Naz Reid can shoot.
He could shoot. So they got the 3 rotational big man, which is what you want, and ideally. And then the rest of their roster too. We pull up. You got Ant-Man, Kyle Anderson, Nikhil Walker-Alexander was great the other night. But they look 6'5", 6'9", 6'9". Jaden McDaniels, long arms, like they're just long. Monty Morris, 6'2", backup guard. But you look at like that, like Jaden Daniels, like I said, 6'9". Justin Jackson, 6'8". I mean, they got guys that they're just long. And I think that's the problem with Denver. Denver's so good at throwing the ball to Jokic in the post or the pinch post, and let's play off of him. And it's a lot of off-ball movement. But the one thing about the Timberwolves that I haven't seen an NBA team do in a long time is they actually play fundamentally sound team defense. And they actually try. Like, dudes' hands are in the passing lanes, rotating out the ball. They talk, they communicate. And then you got that menace out there, Ant-Man, who looks like a defensive back, like Troy Polamalu of the NBA defense right now.
Everybody.
Once he gets the ball, he's out.
Everybody was just, like, to the ball, just super active on defense. It was wild. Denver's about to get just swapped. I don't see how they come back. Like they got to go to Minnesota and hope to.
And that crowd,
those
fans have been dying for a championship.
They've been dying for a Western Conference Finals,
right? Since KD
championship. They've been dying for a competitive team. Championship. They've just been dying for something.
Right? Even when KG was anything there, get out of the first round.
Yeah, they haven't been worried about championship. That's going to be a pleasant surprise if they win the championship. They're just happy. They're just happy to be here.
Now, not what I see now.
Yeah, good for the Wolves, dude. Pay Anthony Edwards whatever he wants.
I know. I like the guy on FS1 too. He's like already talking about where's he gonna go. Like, what do you mean where's he gonna go? What can we stop with this whole this is the media people, these big market media snobs. We're trying to push a guy. We're trying to earmark him to New York. We're trying to earmark him to the Lakers. He's not going there. He's staying. Why would he leave the T-Wolves if they were going to win a championship?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
This is only his, third year in the NBA as well?
Yeah, I think they just paid him, too. Or he's going to get the bag. He ain't going to leave. He's getting big time money.
No, I mean, they don't have any besides Rudy, they don't have any other Supermaxes. So sign him. Sign Ant-Man to the Supermax, and then, you still have a bunch of role players, and your 2 best players, who are 2 really great players, have the Supermax, and Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards. And
you got great rotational pieces.
Yeah.
All that length and size. Mike Conley, great point guard, the Ohio State University alum. But anyways, got to throw that out there. Go Bucks. But anyways, the question everybody's been throwing around, because he looks like him. Not saying he's Michael Jordan, but man, when you watch this guy, the way he moves athletically, his style of play, the mentality, it is very similar to Michael Jordan. I don't think we've ever seen since Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant, I thought, was the closest thing to MJ. But at Kobe, I don't think Kobe didn't have that type of twitchiness, lateral quickness athletically. He was more of skill and footwork because he had to be. I think Michael was more of a freak of nature athletically than Kobe.
Yeah.
This kid has that.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards looks very similar.
And he's the Yeah, he's the same 6'6", about 220. Great athletic, great body for NBA player. Is this kid the closest thing to Michael Jordan, Mike? I think he is.
I think it's that I've seen. Yeah.
He's only 22 years old, and he might win his first NBA championship already.
That's wild. If he does, I wonder how many more he wins.
That's the key. Can he keep it up? But
Well, he might be 1A, 1B, 1C if he keeps it up. We might be seeing the next argument, the guy to throw into the LeBron Michael argument.
well, I don't know. I'm not gonna put him there. He's got to actually do stuff first.
I
but-
know. I'm saying we might be seeing the beginnings of that.
I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan in an all-time stat. All I'm saying is from a eye test, in terms of like skill, athleticism, and just what you see, he's very similar in the way he moves and the way he operates to Michael Jordan. Will he be as good? If I had to bet, I don't think anybody's gonna ever be Michael Jordan again, because Michael Jordan's just that great. Especially when the gold chain Michael Jordan, and once he got to 26 years old, that was a wrap for everybody else. But Michael Jordan had no weaknesses in his game. But I do think this kid, he's gonna be the face of the league by far. He's the next guy. Why the league's not promoting him more, I have no idea. I think it's kind of a disservice to him and to them. This kid needs to be promoted more. But a lot of people don't know who he is still.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, he's right up there.
I get LeBron's LeBron, but and they promote him a lot. But damn, dude, this guy, you got to promote this guy more. He's the guy. He's a dude now. But I don't know. So Timberwolves winning the championship?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I agree with you.
2 firsts back to back.
I agree. Timberwolves. Before we get out of here, if you haven't picked up a copy yet, 101 Short Lessons for an Anxiety-Free Life from my man Dennis Simpson, the anxiety guy. Check it out. I read this book before it came out and helped gave me feedback on it. It's a great book. It's basically having an anxiety program for you every day. You're right here in this book, right on Amazon. So go pick it up. Very powerful. Mike, anything you want to add on the way out of here?
No.
You want to tell me? You want to tell them I need to like, subscribe, and share? You
guys out there got to like, subscribe, and share, because if not, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Yeah. You got to, if you like and subscribe and share, it helps us fight the algorithm. Helps that. Share it with your enemies, your friends, anything in between. Your dog, cat, parrot, octopus, man, bear, pig. I don't know. Just share it with somebody and, let us know what you think. What did you think of your team's draft? Are you as depressed about the NBA playoffs as us Cavs fans are? Let us know in the comments. Are you an Orlando Magic fan? You deserved it.
Yeah. Go Browns.
Go Browns. Go Browns. 3 more months.
3 more months. Schedule release next week. We'll be reacting to that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, love all you guys.
17-0. Let's go.
Guys, like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. We're out of here.
Gone.
You got to salute, Mike. You got to salute.
Oh!
Gone.